Okay, welcome back to another edition of Recruiter Fuel. If there's a topic that you guys want to have us have a conversation about, or you want to join me, make sure you reach out directly. There's an email at the bottom, either info at Qualigence or Steve at or slois at qualigence.com. We'd love to have you. We want more topics, but here's an interesting one: is this whole idea of onboarding, which I'm not going to say that I'm a pro about, but I hear a lot about onboarding new employees. And Jennifer, Andrew, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're my newbie here, Jennifer. This
Yep.
is your day what? Day
Three,
4.
three.
And Andrew, you've been recruiting for how long?
It's almost 6 years now.
Okay, so we got two completely different perspectives because you've never been a recruiter, you don't recruit,
Nope.
has nothing to do with you. So I'm going to ask you the question first.
Okay.
And you can use the last 4 days or you can use your last job. I don't care how you want to do it. But onboarding of candidates is a big deal because it's kind of that first impression is a lasting impression.
Mhm.
From a candidate's perspective, how important is it to you?
I think it's helpful to have that contact and kind of being taken along the way and seeing what each step is and how it's going to proceed. And I think it's helpful because you don't leave a conversation wondering what's the next step.
So it's got onboarding is important to lay out. Here's who everybody is.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on.
Mhm.
Have you had an experience in the past where onboarding wasn't real positive? And it's
Um,
okay if the last 4 days haven't been that great. You can admit that.
no, the last 4 days have been great. Not really. At least not here. I mean, the process has been pretty smooth transition.
Okay. So Andrew, you've been doing this a long time. We know not every organization
Yeah.
onboards well. How important is it? This question number one.
It's huge because you're talking, your candidates are talking to the client. They're having multiple conversations and or meetings. They're building a rapport. A lot of these candidates now are asking me, what does it look like? What do I do to get up to speed? Or are they just going to throw me out there? And, telling people, hey, we're going to prepare you in certain ways for success in interviews. Then you get there, two have to match up. Like she said, having kind of a list of things you check off, introduce to the right people, have kind of a flow, and here's what we expect to accomplish and how much time your onboarding is going to take. It might be a few days, it might be a few weeks, depending on the role. But having that plan and really following up what you said you were going to do in the interview process.
So have you ever had one where it went really bad
Oh,
and the candidate shared with you and went, Andrew, dude, what's going on here?
Yeah, I've had, when I was doing accounting and finance recruiting many moons ago, I had a couple people that just had the day of, here's the bathroom, here's the water cooler, fill out some paperwork. Now here, go do some work in Excel, when they didn't even really have a clue what they were doing.
Yeah.
And the lady called me pretty scared because she's like, I'm an accountant, but I mean, it was day number 2. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Did I make a mistake? And I ended up having to call my client and tell them that they had to give her a little bit of instruction instead of just, hey, go do your work. It's not really sufficient.
Jennifer, what if you showed up on Monday
Mhm.
and your email wasn't working? I know we had a problem with your computer, right? But your email wasn't working, your extension didn't work, you didn't have a login to your computer, nobody introduced you to the rest of the team. How would you feel?
Alone and exactly like his client said, am I in the right place? Is
Yeah.
this the right fit?
What do you think? Now, I'm going to ask you the question first. If you were working with a recruiter, and maybe you don't know this, but if you were working with a recruiter, what role do you think the recruiter plays in the onboarding of a candidate? So, if Andrew was your recruiter and getting you here, what role do you think he should play? How would that person help you?
Well, just to say, hey, I'm available. This is what I'm prepping you for. But if something goes crazy, I'm here. Call me. I can help, which he did in
Yeah.
that instance. But then when it's all said and done, checking in and saying, how did it go? Did it go smoothly? Maybe not day 1 or 2, but maybe day 5. And just saying, hey, is it going good? Are you happy? Is this a good fit?
So in last week's session, I was talking about this pissing match I was in with another recruiter about a completely different topic.
Mhm.
This is another one of these that I get into these
Mhm.
online fights with, right? Because there's too many recruiters that say once that person accepts the role, I'm done. I don't have anything else to do with the process. What do you think?
Well, I'd ask them where are your referrals coming from, because if you're not keeping in touch with people, first of all, you're not going to get any referrals. Second of all, it's just being a good person. You're in the people business.
Yeah.
You want a reputation of at least following through. Like she said, probably day number 5, I usually send my candidates either a text or an email on their first day. Good luck, hope it goes well, but then follow up at the end of the week. And then I say, use me. If there's something you're not sure about, if what you heard in the interview, something's really different after the first week, let me go and ask that question.
Our
So you don't-
expectations off.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and let me ask those questions so you don't look bad.
And
know,
the
at the end of the
pressure's
day.
off,
Yeah,
too.
and the pressure's
Pressure's
off.
off.
That's
Yeah,
right.
pressure's
That's
off
right.
the candidate at the end of the day. That's where I think the recruiter really does play a role, because they can be kind of the intermediary there between the employer and the candidate.
Yeah, whether you're a third-party recruiter or a corporate recruiter doesn't matter. If
Mhm.
if I was the one dealing with you to get you here, now I wasn't,
Mhm.
but I'm the only one that you had interaction with. That was it. I'm the only person you really know. Yeah, you interviewed with Ian, your boss, and
Mhm.
some of the other folks. But if I kind of left you at that point,
Right.
right, it doesn't make any. There's no connection
Yeah, there's
with
no
anybody else.
connection.
I'm the one who convinced you to come over. I'm the one who convinced you to talk. I'm the one that convinced you to join ultimately, aside from the offer that came from the hiring leader. But if I'm not there for you, to what you're saying, Andrew, that's a real problem.
And then you don't have a network as a recruiter, and you're always going to be fighting for that next person who you're not going to talk to, and it's just going to keep going and going as they get hired.
So what's your gut tell you? How many recruiters actually follow up with candidates after their first day? What's your gut tell you? This is not scientific. Don't take this to the bank. Don't all start arguing with me on the. I get it. Just what's your gut?
I'd say under 50%, because
Yeah.
a lot of times just dropping an email, oh, Andrew, thank you for the email. Nobody's ever done that before.
Yeah.
I'd say it's under 50% of the time.
Have you ever been recruited by a recruiter?
No, I've always
Okay.
been proactively.
You've
going
always
out.
found that
Yeah.
next opportunity, so you haven't actually experienced
Yeah.
the involvement of a recruiter, but you still have
Actually,
that.
though, in dealing when Robin, who's the recruiter
Yeah.
here, reached out to me, I guess inadvertently I was.
So you
dealing
did deal with a
one.
recruiter.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
our internal recruiter.
Right. And no, she definitely followed through, followed up, stopped in, and asked how everything was going. So
Okay, what did we not have ready in your first few days?
should I be really
Yeah, lay it out there.
the phone?
All the things that I talked about.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
Email was there. Password to get in the computer wasn't there.
Okay,
That's it.
so why are you still here?
Because everybody's so great.
So everybody still
Yeah,
welcomed you in.
It's,
So
yeah, it's exactly when I was interviewing and I walked through the door. Then it's exactly how they said it would be when I got here.
because we know things are going to happen. There is
Mhm.
no perfect situation. Not everything is perfect when you walk into a new organization.
Mhm.
So that connection, especially
Yeah.
with the recruiter, is really
Yeah,
important.
nobody's going to call me and say, oh, they didn't have my computer password, because not everything is going to be in the
It's not a
hiring
big deal.
manager's hands. It's just
Yeah.
infrastructure, where the other thing, too, is what we do here, walking people around and having them shake hands with everybody.
Yeah, that's
There's not as many people here as there at some company with 20,000
Sure,
employees.
sure.
But at the end of the day, really walking people, not just sending out an email, hey, Andrew's the new employee here. It's face-to-face interactions, so you get the names. You can at least start building a rapport. I think that's really huge, too.
and
That
that's
gets
one of the
lost
first
sometimes.
times that happened with me.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
I mean, I got introduced to like a larger department.
Yeah.
To go to each department and be introduced and then be acknowledged, from you as the CEO. I've never had that experience before. So that was really nice.
Well, that was to make up for all the things that didn't work on day one, so we didn't have the problem with you leaving. Look, the whole point in all this is to anybody watching, like, onboarding is an important piece. We know that. There's a direct correlation to turnover, actually, in the first year. Bad experience. You can still have bad things happen, like not having your password or what have you, but it's that experience. Robin's following up as the third-party recruiters. You're talking, following up on first day, following up a week later. We'll see in a week if things are still going well, right?
Mhm.
But there's too many recruiters that don't do that. And it's such a simple thing to do. Text them. Do whatever.
Very
it
little
takes.
effort is required.
Like less than a minute, really?
Probably.
But the
mean,
impact is big to you
Yeah.
as the candidate.
Absolutely.
It was perfect situation to describe. Thank you, guys. Jennifer, thank you for being the guinea pig here 4
Yeah.
days in. Andrew, thanks for coming back to talk about this. Guys, onboarding, you got to focus on it. It's a simple thing to do. But as Jennifer said, that little tiny bit makes a big difference, which leads to referrals and everything else. Come back, check us out in a week. We'll see you then.